welcome to GM Web3, dedicated to multiversics, like every Wednesday on live on X, on Twitch, and on YouTube. And before we start, I would like to thank the partners of this show. And let's start by Atom. So Atom is one of the most solid DeFi stacks on MultiverseX. With Atom, you can lend, borrow, liquid stake your GLD and other assets, meaning you can earn yield while still keeping your assets liquid. So it's fast, it's clean, it's secure. And what is interesting with Atom is two things. First, they launched the first native stable coins on MultiverseX, the USH, and you can mint USH. And if you hold some of their token, the HTM token, you can get bigger yield, bigger returns on your investments. And second, Atom is actually looking to outreach out of MultiverseX, because they build hard for years on MultiverseX, and now they want to expand on other ecosystem like MegaETH or Monad. So I think worth checking what they're building for the next steps, and I will try to get the CEO live here to ask him about the next steps of Atom, maybe by September. And the second sponsor, the second partner of GM Web3 is eApes. So eApes, what is it? It's the biggest and the oldest NFT collection on MultiverseX, one of the most dedicated NFT communities. They've been building for 4 years, the community, with consistency and resilience. And now they're just launching their first collection on Solana, in partnership with Magic Eden, and it completely sold out in a few days. So it's a huge step for a MultiverseX native project, and proof that eApes is ready to go multi-chain and play on a bigger stage. So check them and Atom with the links that you can find on this description. And today, so I will be joined in a few seconds by someone who's right in the middle of that Web3 data AI intersection, William Simonin, founder of Tada. It's a project that raised millions, launched on MultiverseX, recently expanded to Solana, and is building like a decentralized data marketplace at scale. So together, we'll dive into the launch, the idea, the token, the crash, the pivot to the DApp, the Solana expansion, and what it's really like to build a product in the current Web3 climate. So if you're looking, if you're watching us live on YouTube, on Twitch, on X, make sure to subscribe. And of course, you can interact all the live long. So in the comments, you can agree, you can disagree, you can ask your question. Feel free to do it. And if you're watching us on replay on YouTube or on every podcast platforms, same, subscribe, rate us, and yeah, give us some strength. I can see in the comment the Tada community is here. Hello everyone, and let's welcome my guest of today, William. Hello William, how are you?
Hi Jerem, very good, and you?
I'm very good. Sorry for this.
No worries, no worries.
Yeah, how are you, William? You came on GM Web3. It was like 3 years ago or 2 years ago. I don't remember. It was before you launched. It was around X Day 2022. I think it was in Paris. And yeah, you came on the show. In the meantime, some members of your staff are regularly coming to the show. So it's a pleasure to have you back. How are you?
Very good. As for everyone, I think a lot of things to do, so in a rush, but yes, we have very good news, and hopefully the market is recovering and continue to recover, so there should be a lot of opportunities for everyone. So yes, in a very good mood.
Okay, sounds very good. So for those who doesn't know you, you've been active in tech and entrepreneurship for years, even before Tada, and especially with AI and speech recognition and so on. So can you briefly introduce yourself and tell us what led you to launch Tada at the beginning?
Yes, for sure. So indeed, I started entrepreneurship like 10 years ago through many companies. I launched different Web3 companies with my brother, like Meria and Descoin, who are investment platform and broker. We have the Ash Consulting, that is a Web3 marketing and communication agency. And the first company I built was an AI company named Vivoca. It's a company specialized in speech recognition. Basically, we created voice assistant for embedded system and offline system. And we propose our technology worldwide to different industries like logistics, robotics, and so on. And a few years ago, we got a huge pain point that considering our speech recognition technology is based on AI, we needed a lot of data to train, improve, and test our AI. And in that field is really complicated and expensive to find high quality of data sets. So that's why after trying different data providers, we decided to create our own platform named Tada to collect and check the quality of any kind of data set. And like 3 years ago, we started that journey.
Okay, sounds good. So yeah, what is interesting is now AI is in everyday and everybody's routine. It was maybe not exactly the case 3 years ago, but the explosion of AI has created a huge demand for clean, labeled, reliable data. But as you said, the supply is broken. So what I understand is you created Tata for yourself, for Vivoca actually at the beginning. Yeah, that's what we
Correct.
understand. So you would be your first customer with Vivoca. What was your go-to-market strategy? Not just to have only Vivoca as a customer.
So initially, indeed, we created Tada for ourselves at Vivoca. Then we understood that if we need that data, all the competition in speech recognition got the same issue. So probably they also can need that kind of data. And in my opinion, on the market, if you have a solution, you have to share with everyone. So we share it with all the market of speech recognition. And as soon as we understood that our system based on blockchain, if it works, of course, can bring value to the entire AI ecosystem, because it's the same for videos, for images, and so on, we decided to create a generic platform for any kind of data. And that's why we created that brand and try to reach different kind of AI companies. Our go-to-market was quite simple. Actually, when we imagine that the blockchain can be a solution for the supply to double-check the quality, to provide a kind of traceability of where each data came from and who directly checked it, we imagine for our go-to-market, try to create a mobile application, because in one hand, you need a large and strong community to collect the data, to create it. And in another hand, you need a strong pipeline of AI companies who need that data. So actually, you have two different go-to-market if you want to fill everything. And we imagine use the Web3 community, the Web3 industries, to find both users and AI, at least for the beginning. And after, we could reach different kind of companies in Web2. Unfortunately, that wasn't that simple, because in Web3, all the users got different expectations that crowd workers from Web2. And on the AI field, I was a bit disappointed, to be transparent, that a lot of companies in Web3 brand themselves AI companies, but they didn't really created AI. When we understood that, we decided to remove the mobile application and to create a website, a complete platform.
We'll come into this about the product, but what is interesting is before you launch Tada, and we can see in the comment that your English is better, William. Would you like to share
I still have a long way to improve it.
And I confirm it's way better.
Yeah.
Congrats.
Thank you.
So yeah, the question is, before you launch Tada, you are in the AI industry. And even if this industry is evolving very fast, and especially these last 2 years, did you have, before the launch, study the market? It's a rhetorical question, but let me finish. And did you have any I don't know, like agreement with actors that would like to buy this reliable and good data, and maybe some of them, I don't know, like did not respect this agreement, or you just launched and you said, okay, they will buy because they need it. So that's the go-to-market question I have.
Yes, of course, we study, and of course, we got different agreements, but not an agreement that the customer will directly buy any kind of data. They told us, we used to buy data. If you have good enough data sets for at least that amount of data, we can use your system for the data collection. So we got some agreement that if we reach different milestone, we will be able to move forward. And usually, when you are a large AI company, data is really, really expensive. So each time you start by a proof of concept, then a pilot, and then you can sell really large data sets. But there is different kind of data. There is data you can collect and put it on the shelf, like for speech recognition, for example, that can be thousands of hours of audio in different languages. Or you have specific demand from prospects and customers who will ask you to do a specific data collection. And that's not that easy, because depending on what they want, you have to find the good users in the good countries who maybe have to know the specific skills in a short period of time. Because if you need 2 years to collect that data, maybe the customer will not need it anymore. So you are in competition with all the industries. So it's a really competitive industries where quality is important.
Can we summarize? But you have the hot data and the cold data. So the cold data, which is needed like anytime, and the hot data is something that is needed right now at the moment for a specific customer. And for this, you need to have a large base of users, a large base of data providers, and that's what Tada was supposed to gather with the incentive of the token, with the community-centric strategy, and so on. Did I understand well what you just said?
Yes. Actually, for the hot data, we can imagine that it's a data we don't have on the shelf and we have to collect it. And for the cold, we already have it and we're trying to sell it. With, of course, the price is more important for the hot one than for the cold one.
Okay, and so you decided to launch Tada with a native token through X Launchpad and building on Multiverse X. It was a bold move at the moment. So can you explain why did you choose this blockchain token, Launchpad, the blockchain, and how strategic or maybe not strategic it was for your vision 3 years after? It was 3 years ago, the Launchpad, or 2 years?
More than 2 years.
So now, with what you know now, was it a strategic move in terms of technology, of course, but also ecosystem strategy, growth, and so on?
From the beginning, we know that we wanted to use the blockchain for the traceability and for different features. So we selected different potential partners, including Multiverse X.
Can you mention, sorry, can you mention the other ones that you thought about, or you don't want?
Yes, to be frank, honest, I don't remember everyone, but we had really good discussion also with Avalanche.
Okay.
I think with BNB too, BNB chain, and one or two other ones. I don't remember exactly, but yes, we study the complete market. To be honest, in the technical point of view, what we did on Multiverse X, we will be able to do it and implement it on every chain. So we got different criteria to move forward. Why we choose MultiverseX? Because first of all, we got a strong relation with them because I used to work with them since years ago. Their technologies fit with our needed. They also was one of our main investors, and that was really important for us because we know that when you start a project, unfortunately, everything will not be good as expected, at least on your business plan. So you will get some trouble and you need strong partners to help you. If one of your partners invests in your project, if you have good relation, if you are linked directly to them, you know that in the complicated period, they will be able to help you. Their launchpad was quite famous, especially at that time. So for us, it was a quite good deal. Of course, we didn't knew what happened in the alt season in general, in the future, and so on. So, but at that time, it was really a good partners. And even after the different move we made and so on, MultiverseX try to support us.
Okay.
Even if we know the story and so on, it was not that easy for them that for every other blockchain. But they did their best to help Tada, honestly.
It's very interesting. Thank you for the transparency. The next question is: do you think Tada journey would have been different on another blockchain? So I know it's a Necrony. It's just a game of spirit, But do you think it would have been different, or it's more about Tada than MultiverseX? What do you think about this? Have you thought about this before?
I think, of course. Hopefully, probably, yes, it should be different. It could be different depending on the other blockchain. But what we got on MultiverseX, like the spotlight and so on, we won't be able to get it on BNB, for example, except if we got a launch on Binance, but unfortunately we didn't get it. So yes, probably, I think one of the two main things we missed, first of all, is that the skills and knowledge. We learned a lot of things during the first launch, and interoperability were a move we made it too late. I think
when
initially.
You speak about interoperability, you speak about the multi-chain approach.
Exactly. Initially, on our plan, we wanted to launch Tada directly, not the token, but the mobile application directly on every chain. Thanks to Axelar system or different other product like that, you should be able to do it in a technical point of view. But
because
we got a lot of technical issues
to be live long ago on MultiverseX, so this is still pending at the moment.
Exactly.
Waiting for.
We found different solutions using bridges and so on. To do it, but finally, what we learn is that unfortunately, the main community we have to address is not only the Web3 community. It's the large communities of crowd workers who already provide data and so on that can really help us to reach the real business and the real revenue. So we lost a lot of time trying to make some implementation to fit with the requirements of the Web3 expectations, like gamifications, NFT, and so on. And all of that implementation, first of all, didn't really help the token. And also, and mainly, we got a lot of issues on our main roadmap, business roadmap, revenue roadmap, because we were focused on that kind of implementation. So that's why we removed the application and we launched the platform without any constraints, no Apple Store, Android Store, Web3 and so on constraints, and we directly move forward right now on our new system.
What you say is it's not the first time I hear a builder who's with a Web2 and Web3 project saying that maybe I focused too much on Web3 and I forgot about Web2. So it's interesting to listen to hear this from you, but it's indeed a very difficult trade-off because you launched the money with the Web3 community, and so you need to thank them in a way. But in the other way, in terms of business growth and so on, Web2 is very important in such project. So When did you realize that maybe it was time to focus on Web2 because it's all about revenue and not just about speculation and gamification?
Actually, as soon as we got that the community didn't really need all these features, didn't really need interoperability, NFTs, and so on, didn't really are interested in your real product. And I don't speak about the TADA community who really help us since the beginning and so on, but the large Web3 community. There is only one thing they care about is the price of your token. And all what we did to try to fit their expectations, we understood that was only features who worked a few years ago during the previous bull market. And I knew that if I really want to get an impact of the token, I have to focus on the revenue. So you have to really study what my real customers needs and provide that, even if it's not, even if that's not fit with the requirements of a standard Web3 mobile application and blah, blah, blah. That's what the real market wants. If we provide a good product, we will get revenue. If we get revenue, we will be able to perform the buyback. If we perform the buyback, the token will grow. And that's the key. For all the rest, and I lost a lot of time by trying to fit with all the advice from advisors, community, and so on, just to be sure that we will perform things well. But actually, there is 3 different kinds of projects in Web3 from my perspective, and probably I'm wrong, in terms of product market fit. You have the different projects who don't really have a product market fit in terms of business, like, for example, meme coin. Meme coin is just a kind of brand, actually, where your token can go up and down depending on if you have a pool on Solana, for example, for your meme coin. If Sol goes up, your token will go up too. If there is no community, if there is no buying of that, you cannot perform anything. You have the different projects with a product market fit in the Web3 directly, like centralized exchanges, like market maker, like a DeFi project, and so on. So their project depends on the liquidity of the ecosystem and, of course, the quality of their product. And you have few projects, different projects, and I hope TADA is in that category, where you use blockchain for a real use case and you provide a value to different customers and industries in Web3 or in Web2. In our case, it's in Web2, or like CoAT, for example. It's not that easy because you have the constraint of Web3 and the constraint of Web2. And the advantage, of course, if you catch it. And for that kind of project, you have to focus on your real business. I strongly believe.
Well, you mentioned CoAT, who decided to stop building the project. So,
and it's really pity because I have a strong project. There is a real product market fit and so on, but it's but the reality in startup is that only 1 out of 10 move forward after 5 years. I think. Don't remember exactly the statistics.
I think the reality. The ICO in 2020, end of year. So yeah, it will be 5. It would have been 5 years by the end of the year. So after raising 3.5 million in seed funding and 1.1 million through your public sale on Launchpad, what are the most important milestones that you've achieved since then, in terms of product, go-to-market, user acquisition? I don't know. What are the biggest milestones?
Provide the first deliveries to real customers that help us to create a track record and be able to move the step, proof of concept, pilot, and delivery. So currently on our new platform, we got different tasks that can provide you different revenue from few cents to, I think for the best one, $90. It's quite good for just few minutes. Our technical platform, thanks to our knowledge, we improve it a lot of times. And the community we build, even if on the mobile application, we rate more than 100,000 of users. And right now, on the new one, we restarted from 0. We know how to do it. We know that it takes time. And we have all the knowledge, the tools, the processes, and so on to rebuild it. And right now, in comparison to 6 months ago, we got a lot of users on mobile application, but really weak pipeline because of the mobile application, it was quite complicated for us to onboard customers. Right now, it's the opposite. We have a strong pipeline, and we have to rebuild our community. So that's our main focus, and that's also why we restarted the communication and so on.
Okay. So the TADA token dropped sharply post-launch, but your community stayed loyal and very active. So how, as a CEO, how do you interpret first the crash? And the second question, so take the time to answer, of course, how do you personally deal with the criticism, the pressure? And I also received a question in the in DM about this. I will just read the part that is interested. The heavy FUD periods, the scam accusations from many actors in the French crypto Twitter space. So how personally do you deal with it? So first, how do you interpret the drop of the token? And after, how do you deal with this sometimes hard pressure on social networks, especially?
Okay, different points. First of all, and for those who weren't following TADA at that time, we launched on X-Launchpad, I think at 2 or 2.2 cents. The token moved up to like 50 or 45 and drop under one few months after. We made a lot of mistakes, and we didn't got, let's say, good advice, because normally in terms of market making and so on, we should have protect the market. That means sell a lot of token to avoid that the price raise too much, to get money to protect and buy back after.
Mhm.
We didn't do that. I don't want to disclose the name of the market maker and the different partners who were supposed to help us on that at that time. It was, I'm the CEO, my mistake.
But just about that,
yeah.
In terms of on-chain analysis, I know that if you had sold token during the growth of the token, maybe you would have been criticized too.
I don't know. To be honest, I don't know, because it depends what you do actually with the money and so on. If you use it for the community to make another airdrop, to do buyback and so on, all the successful projects actually, and after analysis, got some feedback and so on, did
Okay.
it. So that's the way it works. And actually, it's even healthy. When TADA was at the 80H, the fully diluted valuation was almost $500 million.
Which is way too
That
much.
makes no sense. At
Yeah.
that time, the mobile application wasn't even on the store. So zero revenue. That makes no sense at all. That's normal. The crash after that was really normal. Unfortunately, my expectation was that as soon as we plan to release the application, everything will start moving forward on the right side. And at that time, I understood that the community and the Web3 market only focus on your token and not on your product. So that was one of my main, not deception, but understanding on how it works. We are also launching a real and serious project in a field that actually, in fact, at that time, a lot of builders just wanted to launch token. And there is like 30 millions of tokens on the market. So people are only focusing on launch and the liquidity transfer from one project to another one. So when you have a long vision, it's not that easy for you to get the support needed. But that's the game. And if we get enough revenue, that's in our hand, actually.
Before I let you answer about how do you deal with the different criticism and the pressure, the question that the community has, and I have too, is your brother is one of the most, the biggest entrepreneur and an influencer in France in the crypto space. And you say that you didn't know, or you did not realize how much people was focused on the token instead of the product. So of course, the question is, how is it possible with such a brother not to know this thing? Of course, it's always easy after the movie to say, I knew who was
And
the murderer. But you know what I mean. This is
yeah, definitely. And we helped with Meria, Descoin, and so on, lot of projects by listing them, by the communication and so on. But that was the first time we launched and we see what happened behind the scene. All the dark move and so on, what really performs the market makers and how that play is really working. We got really disappointed, to be frankly honest. I think, of course, if I could come back in the past and change a lot of things, that would be really definitely different. I think it's really pity because when we got a deep understanding on how that industry works, is not that well, and we have a long way to go before get an healthy industry. But yes, we didn't go. Owen neither. We did our best, and actually, the fact that my brother is one of the main KOL in France was not an advantage. It was a really complicated thing because all his haters arrive and criticize Tada. So for me and for him, we try to be as transparent as possible. Even people who didn't even buy Tada use Tada to try to target Owen.
Yeah.
So it wasn't really fair. And we lost a lot of deals, especially with venture capitalists, Web3 and so on, because of that.
Yeah, so
But
it was
it's
strong. It was a strength, in my opinion, to raise fund thanks to his audience, the video he made with you, and the spotlight he brought. But it was a complete disadvantage when it comes to the reality of the haters, deception, drop of the token. Everything is multiplied by 100 when you have such an advisor. Okay, so you have both
definitely
points. Yeah.
Definitely, and also and mainly thanks to that or because of that, I don't know, the token goes up very fastly. I prefer a token who jumps step by step. It's more healthy than the opposite.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So let's go back to how do you because it's completely new to you, such hate and pressure and FUD and so on, because personally, you come from Web2 with Vivoca, and of course, you built different Web3 and crypto companies, but you have never been in front of these companies, as far as I know. So it was the first time in a Web3 and crypto project that you were the head, the embodiment of the project. So how did you deal with this pressure?
I used to work with a lot of pressure even before Tada. Entrepreneurship, it's
social
long time
pressure.
Ago. But the most important for me, first of all, yes, of course, I was really disappointed and sad actually, because we wanted with our team to do things properly. We worked a lot. We had to move because of regulation reasons from Europe to UAE, and I thought all the team who worked 24/7 on that project got some trouble on the social network and so on, and they were really sad, and more than for them that for me. I was sad actually because they really didn't deserve it, and especially when we saw different messages like people told us you are scammers and blah blah blah. We didn't get that kind of message right now because 2 years after we continue to build, so people understood. But at that specific period of time, it wasn't really unfair, and a lot of people, especially in Web3, share some criticism and after start thinking. So, and of course, for myself mainly, with the different companies I have, I don't need to do a scam if I want money. I really wanted to build that project to find solution to real issues and pain point on the industry. That was my main focus. But we discovered that, yes, it's a kind of casino. All the Web3 is like that. And people are betting in different projects. Social media can start different snowball, the good way and the bad way. So like every challenges you have in entrepreneurship, we have to deal with it. We have to find some solutions. All the weak people weren't able to move forward, but that's the game. So we learn a lot. And but we wanted to keep our value. and continue to be transparent and so on. And to be frankly honest, different of our advisor and investors told us, but for the point ABC, you don't have to share with the community. They are not real investors, you don't have contract. Why do you do that? You can get some criticism and so on. And I was like, I do what I do before I want to provide a real value. I always be transparent. I made a lot of mistakes, and I will make another one for sure. But I totally agree with that, and I can say I feel that was the good path, the good way. That was on, so I will try that and try that and try that until I will find the good one, and I'm okay with that.
Okay, you do sport, you eat well, you have a good and a healthy life to resist to the pressure.
I tried, but unfortunately, considering we rush a lot, I work from 9 to midnight almost every day. So it's mainly pizza on my computer or McDonald's. But yes, I try when I can to do some sports. I like adrenaline too. I'm a plane pilot, for example.
Okay.
I challenge myself with different things. Like my current challenge is to stay 5 minutes without breathing, like apnea.
Okay.
And each year I try to challenge myself on different things. Sport is really important also for your mind, for that kind of pressure, to get one step back and so on. But yes, sometimes you really have a lot of issues, problems and so on. When you are the CEO, you have to solve it. So it's your responsibility. Try to help your community is your responsibility. You don't have enough money, it's your responsibility. You have to find solutions for everything, even if sometimes, as a human, you are not in a good mood, you have some trouble in your personal life, but that's the game. You have to take your choice. And I strongly believe that good entrepreneurs has to manage that. That's some challenge on the normal way.
You decided to build Tada in France, and actually you were confronted with the regulation, with so many things. So how do you deal with this situation as a French company?
First of all, it was a really, really complicated period. A few months or weeks before the launch, we understood that it will not be possible for Tada to launch in France because of we plan to issue a token. And it's really complicated because of the regulation, but also because of the nature of our activity, crowdsourcing and crowd workers, with the current law that told us that we have to create a contract between each user and the platform. Like if you have a complete full-time contract, like for Uber, for example, we got 7 hard points.
This is very interesting. So it's not just about accepting terms and condition. No, it was about making a contract with every data provider. Oh, that's completely impossible, actually.
Actually, in a nutshell, they told us that they tried to understand our model and tell us that you have users who will follow instructions, who will provide data, and who can be paid for that. And they told us it's a job. For a job, you need a contract. You have to pay your staff. You have to declare everything and so on. It was a risk. It wasn't 100% sure that we can get some trouble, but
the gray law, and so it's a very big risk for the company, because if you take this risk and actually it happens, you need to pay for the past years, and it could like kill the company. Let's be clear.
Definitely, and that was one of out of the 7 points in the gray area. They told us that we perform custody, so we have to pass the PSAN agreement. I was like, with Tada, we don't do custody for customers. Yes, with the deposit. And we told them for each task, we ask the user to provide a small deposit, maybe 2 cents.
Yes.
But that's custody in their point of view. So it's really, really complicated, especially in France. So we decided to move to Dubai. Really complicated because I hire different employees who moved to Metz. Our headquarters was in Metz at that time. And I had to discuss with them and explain to them that in few weeks, we have to move to Dubai because of all of that reasons. And in my really good surprise, everyone plays the game. everyone was really skin in the game and moved with us, except one guy. But that's the French mentality. We share with them 3 different possibilities. First one, they come with us, but it's a real challenge. Second option, if they cannot or if they don't want their opinion, and I respect that, I can keep a contract with them for another of my company, same building, same salary and so on, or close the contract, like a rupture conventionnelle in French. And one guy, through the fourth one, she got sick.
French
style, unfortunately, but except for that one,
are you still paying her?
We still have different trouble with him.
Okay. Okay. So you decided to go to UAE. So I would like to ask you a question. Can you give us one example of the difference between French regulatory approach, fiscality approach, tax? I don't know how to say fiscal. You got my point. And UAE approach. Maybe one example to show the audience how hard it is to build a company in France. Maybe the most relevant example you can have.
I will give you the first example we have. In France, we got a lot of trouble to try to comply with the different rules. With Meria and Descoin, I think this year that can cost us like 1 million euro just to be compliant. In France, when the regulator don't know exactly what to do, how it works, as a company, you have to stop everything and wait. And if you made a mistake, you can get a lot of trouble. In Dubai, for each new technologies, and as for every country, they don't really know how it works. But in their point of view, they told the company, move forward, and we will help you. And as soon as we will be ready, we will help you to be compliant. And when we have to move to Dubai, I had to understand a lot of things because it's a new regulation in the new languages. As you can hear, English is not my mother tongue. So you have to learn a lot of things and make different trade-offs. And one of them was the choice of the license for the company in Dubai. And I made a mistake when I chose that license. We choose a token, and during the travel, I had an important appointment with the regulator and my lawyer. And with the regulator, we planned to meet 2 different people. The guy who helped us to build the company and the head of regulation. When we arrived to the meeting, my lawyer told me, William, don't tell them you lost the token. Maybe they didn't see, and we try to fix the license issue before they saw it, because you issue a token, maybe that can be illegal and so on. When we arrived to the meeting, the head of regulation wasn't here at that time. It was a bit late, but the other person were already in the room. We arrived, and she told us, oh, William, nice to meet you physically. Very good launch. We saw it. Congratulations on KuCoin listing and so on. So I was like, okay, she know. Now we have to wait for the other guy. The other guy came. Hi guys, sorry about the late and so on. Really interesting project you want to solve. We will try to help you. By the way, I saw that you didn't choose the right license, but don't worry, we will help you to make the move. It's really perfect. And I really feel supported by the country on everything. That was just one out of 100 of example.
This is exactly what we can see all the time on GM Web3 with so many different builders, and unfortunately the feedback are always the same. I hope one day people will say good thing about French regulatory framework, but unfortunately I'm not sure it will happen soon. So you started with a mobile first approach, but now the DApp is clearly the core of the product. So what drove that pivot, and how did the team iterate, and what's the roadmap ahead? So let's focus on the product at the moment, if you agree.
What led us to make that choice? First of all, we got a lot of trouble by dealing with the stores, Apple and Android, mainly because it's quite expensive, it's quite long. When you have to make any improvement because of a customer or because of, I don't know, technical feature and so on, you have to wait a few days before Apple accepted it and make it online. That costs you a lot of money because it's a lot of developers and so on. And because of the blockchain and Web3, we got a lot of constraints. So that's one point. The second one is that on the mobile application, we weren't able to accept most of the jobs the customers needed. Like, for example, if I provide you pictures and I ask you to select only a specific object, with your finger is not easy. With a mouse and a computer, it's better. And many of the people of the companies in that industry use a laptop for that reason. So we decided to close the mobile application and open the DApp, the new platform. That also happened in a time that I had to reduce the size of the team because of the market situation, because of the plan. We had to adapt the plan to save the money and so on. And when you work on the website, you need less effort for the same results than when you have an Android and an iOS application. And right now, the focus is on the business directly, on the customers. So we already onboarded things like 5 or 6 or 7 customers with a job that currently paid users in Tada, but also you can earn, I think for the moment, fiat, thanks to Amazon system and so on, and very soon different other features. And we are only working to onboard more customers. We have a strong pipeline. So I have in one hand to onboard as many customers as possible, and also mainly grow the community, because that's currently our main pain point. For the largest customer that I have right now, I'm not able to deliver fast enough, and I can lose business for that. So that's my main target.
And will it be optimized for browser on the mobile? Because you have the app, but you have the browser app. So will it be optimized if I use my phone and I go to Safari or Chrome on my phone? Because as you know, the traffic in the internet is more and more through mobile. So yeah.
Yes, it is, of course, especially for tasks like audio task, speak recognition, and so on. That makes sense because you only have to follow rules, click on a microphone, and talk. But for the other thing, like for selection, labeling, and so on, if we think that the quality could be better on a computer, we didn't work on the interoperability because we would like to avoid that people will try to do it using the phone.
Okay, so there will be tasks available on the phone and tasks only available on the desktop.
Correct.
Okay, sounds good. So you decided to expand to Solana. It was a few months ago. It's pretty recent. What did it bring to you, to Tada, to open to this new ecosystem?
Actually, for the interoperability features, we didn't only move on Solana, but we are currently compliant also with BNB chain. We did it on Telegram also. To be frankly honest, it was a lot of work, a lot of money too, because you have to provide liquidity on the pool and so on. You have to perform arbitrage to be sure that the token will move and so on. It's really, really, really complex, especially without Axelar or platform like that. So that cost us a lot of time and energy. That didn't bring us a lot of things, to be frankly honest. I think if we launch the project directly with an interoperability layer, that makes sense. But all the moved, lot of advisors and people told us we have to leave Multiversix, Solana is the Eldorado, and so on. When we arrived on Solana, we didn't see magic things. We got a lot of trouble because, for example, when we make the launch on Solana and on Swissborg, we are friends and different platforms, we didn't get a lot of liquidity because snipers, for example, looked for different warning you could have, and on our token we got a scammer warning. It's not scammer, it's don't remember the name, because
the red list
yes,
temporary signal. Yeah,
exactly, because the smart contract was don't remember the name exactly. We can mint token and delete token, not because of our main contract, but because considering we use bridges to do it. Our bridge work, they mint in one side and delete the token on the other one.
Yeah, of course, mint
and all of that complexity was not that easy to manage. Of course, we got different new users, a new community. We make some communication and so on, but during a moment where it wasn't that easy at all, we launched it maybe a few weeks after Trump launched his token, and all the meme coin, all the altcoin actually crashed. And we learned that the success of your coin for an announcement and so on is more depending on the market than on what you do. So the timing is really important. Same for Telegram. We arrived on Telegram just after all the click-to-earn platforms crashed. So we were really bad in terms of momentum, to be honest. But now we understood that if you have a good product, user will jump on your platform. And right now we are still compatible with different platforms. You can be paid if you are on Solana, if you're on Multiversex, if you are on BNB and so on. But the layer is just used for the traceability and the useful feature.
Thank you. My last question, William, will be about Multiversex. So what's your current opinion about what Multiversex is doing? I mean, the situation where it is. What could be better? What is good? What has potential to you? I don't know. Just share, because it's GM Web3 Multiversex. So what do you think? Do you still trust the team, the strategy? So what's your opinion as a builder, one of the last builder?
I think the management of Multiversex made the same mistake than Tada by trusting that the technology, if you have a good technology, a good product, you will succeed. I strongly believe that Multiversex technology is really, really good. I strongly believe that they work a lot, and I know that they work a lot, but unfortunately, people are only looking on your token. And that's really, really complicated for them than for us and for a lot of projects to recover for that step, because it's almost a branding, you know. If all the people say, yeah, okay, the token will go up, and with the price action, the token can go up, but it's a matter of mood. And it's not that easy to recover. To be honest, I don't know what can be the good strategy for them. What I know is that they're working a lot. They should have really interesting announcement. They promise since week and months. And I know that they worked on it, but I don't have a deadline for that. So it's quite complicated for me to provide an opinion. I know they are working and they are real builders, but...
Okay. Sounds good. Were you invited in Cebu this weekend?
Yes. But unfortunately, it wasn't possible for me to join that time.
Okay. William, thank you very much for taking the time to come to speak in front of the Multiversex and English-speaking community on GM Web3. You will come back in the French GM Web3 in a few weeks in September. So yeah, thank you very much again for taking the time. All the best. Good luck for the next steps. We know that it's hard to build, but what I like in your speech, definitely, and I am not here to flatter anyone, is the humility and the transparency about the mistakes and about all the work that is still required to succeed. But that's what is entrepreneurship. Thank you very much, William.
Thank you very much, and thanks all the community, and talk soon.
Definitely.
Have a good day.
Bye-bye, William.
Bye-bye.
So, guys, I hope you enjoyed this interview. It will be available on YouTube in replay in a few hours and on every podcast platform. So So it was a pleasure to have this show today. Don't forget to subscribe to our socials and see you next Wednesday for a new GM Web3 dedicated to Multiverse community and ecosystem with new guests, new speakers, new topic to challenge and to speak unfiltered and uncompromised. Thank you very much. And yeah, have a very good day. Bye bye.